I'm joined today by the newest first-time winner on the PDC Pro Tour, Callan Rydz. Callan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks for having us.
And thanks for joining us. And what a last couple weeks it's been for you. Besides picking up the Weekly Darts Cast as a new sponsor along with a couple other new sponsors, it must have been a big moment winning your first PDC senior title on the Super Series in Bolton a couple weeks ago. What was that moment like?
Yeah, to be fair, it was an unbelievable moment. But I knew going into it I was playing well. Well, not playing well because I hadn't really practiced since the Worlds. But I didn't have many expectations. Like all I thought about was a couple of runs here and then. Just everything that day went my way. A couple of people had match start against us, and I took out a big finish or something to change the game, which I think it was due. I was due a little bit luck. Last year I was losing a lot of games 6-5 and I would miss a dart and they would go out last start. But it was nice to have the luck on my side for a change.
Yes, indeed. And we'll come back to that day in a bit, but I want to look back on your first year on tour. You got your tour card after a few very close calls at Q School the previous 2 years. You got your tour card finally through the Challenge Tour at the end of 2019. Still only 22, but do you feel you're now in the place where you want it to be at this stage of your career?
Yeah. To be fair, yeah. I didn't really have, obviously, last year my goals was the World Championship, and that was all I really had for myself, qualify for the World Championship. And this year I've said it on Instagram. I've done a couple of Q&As on Instagram, and the only goal I had this year was to get in the top 64, and I've done that now. So I don't really know now what to expect. I don't know whether to set another goal or just go with it like I have been. I'm just going with it. So
well, we'll come up to see whether you should set some goals in a bit. But let's continue with last year. It took a little while to get used to the Pro Tour, and then of course, as you were starting to settle in, we had the lockdown, or the first lockdown in March. How did you spend those 4 months away from the tour when everyone was locked down?
I broke my foot the first week into lockdown, so I was out for 2 and a bit months anyway, regarding the lockdown. I mean, yeah, to be fair, you were right. I didn't have a good start to last year at all, but I think breaking my foot, as bad as it sounds, it probably came right for me to have a couple of months off it, because when you're not winning games on the Pro Tour, it gets to you. It really does, because it doesn't matter how well you play and you're losing. It does shatter your confidence big time.
Of course, after lockdown, though, and after you got back from injury, you played pretty well in the Summer Series. Averaged, over 106 against Michael Van Gerwen. Got some big wins. How much belief did you get out of the return in July?
Yeah, to be fair, I wasn't actually even meant to play that, because I was still in a lot of pain. I still am in a lot of pain now. But yeah, I had to go to it because money was tight. There was no work, anything like that. So I had to go to it. And again, I didn't accept any expectations. I just went in there with a clear mind and just had no pressure on me at all. And yeah, I did play well over them 4 or 5 days, whatever they were. I played some really good, consistent stuff. So yeah, it's like I said, I just no expectations on yourself. I think it's a lot better than, obviously, what Jesse's thought. He's world number one. He's expected to win now a lot of things, and I've never had that type of pressure.
Now, of course, from that Summer Series, you continued your improvement, and by the Winter Series, you made your first semi-final, got revenge on Michael Van Gerwen. How are you feeling? And sorry, I should add, qualifying for the Players' Championship final as the number 48 seed. How are you feeling heading in to the Players' Championship finals at the end of the year?
Yeah, I was feeling confident. Obviously, going into the Winter Series, I wasn't in the World Championship. I wasn't in the Players' Championship finals. I knew that, but to be fair, I didn't know how far I was away or anything like that. And the semi-final, it did really give us a confidence boost. Like, it's like I was winning games 6-5, not losing them, and I don't know. But when I heard I qualified, I didn't know what seed I was. And obviously until you just said. But again, it's the top 64 players on the Pro Tour that qualify for that. So if you do qualify, you're in a spot
And of course, at the Players' Championship Finals, you beat two of the, Premier League player in Daryl Gurney. You beat a Pro Tour winner in Ryan Searle before taking Peter Wright to a last leg decider. And that, I believe, would have been your first televised match behind closed doors. What was, without there being fans, what was that experience like, playing, the world champion, but with no one in attendance?
I'm still not used to it at all without the fans. It is weird, but yeah, to be fair, Daryl, he didn't play well, but I think he had the pressure of he was defending his ranking money from 2 years previous to that because he won it. And the game with Ryan Searle, I thought it was a great game of darts. And to be fair, yeah, when I played Peter and I walked out onto the stage, it just felt weird seeing the main stage for like the first time and how empty it is. It's not the same at all. It's not the same. It has taken something to get used to it, but hopefully we do get the fans back soon.
Hopefully, indeed. Now let's go back to this year. You mentioned earlier that you hadn't practiced much after Worlds. You also said to Dan Dawson you've only put in about 2 hours of practice after going out at the World Championship. Why did you take the break from the hockey?
To be fair, I'm not the biggest practicer in the world. Like, on my own, I can't seem to motivate myself to do it. But if I'm practicing with someone, I can do it for 3 hours, 4 hours quite easily enough. But on my own, I can't motivate myself to do it. I do about maybe it's an hour a day on my own, but I'll only do 15 minutes here and there. I can't stand at the board for hours and hours on end by myself. I don't know why. I just get bored of it.
Well, whatever it was, it seemed to work because on the second day of the Super Series, as we mentioned, you won your first title, but still you're stuck in the bubble there in Bolton. How did you celebrate winning your first title?
Well, my phone went bonkers, and I think I went up to see Dobie. Went to his room and watched the Newcastle game that day. Or it was the day after. I think we watched it the day after I won it. We just chilled out while a couple of games of FIFA, and that was it really. Just chilling out, had some food, and then we had to go again the next day.
Well, on those next days, you still played fairly well, averaging nearly 100, over 100 in each match, but get the results, but still moved into the top 64. You mentioned your goal at the start of the year was to get in the top 64. You're already there. How pleased were you when you found out that you were in the top 64?
Oh yeah, it's massive because now it's like obviously this year it's my second year. I'm not defending money. I'm not doing everything I make this year just goes in the rankings and hopefully just push up the rankings. Now it's going to be in the top 40s and then just progressing that way because. To be fair, I haven't set another goal. Like, it's the little goals that matter, but I don't know now. It's just every competition there's going to be a goal in your head. You want to make it. Obviously, you want to win it, but it's picking up little bits here and there and just trying to play more consistently all the time.
Now, you mentioned after winning the Super Series that you were now the best player on your street, being that your FIFA opponent, Chris Dobie, also lives on the same street as you. Has there been much ribbing to him now that you got a title before Dobie?
I can just wind him up now I've got that. But yeah, to be fair, he's lost in, I think 6 finals. And to be fair, he's played well in most of the finals, but I got over the line at the first goal. So yeah, obviously it's just banter with me and Dobie and all the North East lads, Ryan, Adam, Glenn. It's just all it is. It's just banter and it's like a little competition. Like we push each other and it is nice.
Now you mentioned some of those Northeast players like Ryan and Glenn, also Adam Hunt. We're still, of course, in lockdown, but Northeast Arts is in a great place. How much are you looking forward to things opening up and local events returning in the next couple months?
Yeah, that's what I can't wait for because local competitions, I think even Adam said it on an interview, like me, Chris, Ryan, Adam, we all turn up to one event and we'll not win it. The standard up here, it is amazing and you can't beat the match competition, the match practice and just the days out with so many great people up here, it is really good.
And of course, you mentioned the final. We have to talk about that. You, of course, went against player who was the player of the week for the most part in Johnny Clayton. but got over the line against him in a last leg decider. What was it like to be able to play someone playing that well and win your title against him?
Yeah. To be fair, Johnny he missed chances, but I think the full game changer of that match was when it was 7-6 to Johnny. He broke me in 12 to go 7-6 up, and then I took out a 1-2-7 on the bull to go 7-all, and then it was my dart. And then in your head, you're thinking 12 dart, I wins it. But to be fair, Johnny, I can start the leg without a treble, and it just let me in. I think I went 91, 140, or so something along them lines, and it was just one treble visit really every time for that last leg. And to win it last start in hand as well, it was a great feeling.
Of course. And now just a couple more questions. You said you haven't yet set new targets, but your manager, when got you set up for this interview, said that you'd like to set a target when you come on his show. Maybe just joking around, but well, are you willing to set a target now, qualifying for any events or moving any higher in the rankings this year, or are you still just going to take it one step at a time?
Yeah, I think it'll just be one step at a time. I mean, if I do qualify for any events, then happy days, you know what I mean? But you've just got to take everything as it comes, because every game of dart you play is different, and, you know, like everyone on the Pro Tour has got a game to knock you out, so to say, whether it's the worst player, the best player. They've got 100 average in them easy to knock you out. And then, you know, but it's like, yeah, I know I'm in the max play spot at the minute. I'm in the Grand Prix, but to be fair, there's still loads of time to go for that. So I'm not thinking about any of that yet.
Just lastly, we know you've also been a top player on the youth tour. You've made the semifinals and the quarterfinals in the World Youth Championships. Not sure if it's this year or next year, which will be your last opportunity, but you have a target to finally win that title as well?
Oh yeah, of course. You want to win the World Youth. And to be fair, the games I've lost in the World Youth have all been very good games, so there's no real complaints with it. But yeah, I would like to win the World Youth. Everyone won that place on the development tour that qualifies for the World Youth Championship. They want to win it, but anyone that plays on that development tour tell you how hard it really is to even win a development tour. Never let the World Youth Championship.
Well, Callan, congrats on winning the title, and best of luck going forward and kicking on from here.
Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate it.